calls Security Council over rising hostility. Speaker of the Slovak Parliament Richard Raši praised the strong relations between Slovakia and Hungary during his visit to Budapest. After meeting with Hungarian leaders, including Parliamentary Speaker László Kövér and Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, Raši highlighted achievements in cross-border infrastructure and energy cooperation. He noted both countries share similar views on EU enlargement, migration, and energy policy. Kövér emphasized the importance of a strong EU built on sovereign national states and stressed economic and regional cooperation. Raši also pointed to the 130 million euros in joint Interreg funding aimed at improving border regions. Foreign Minister Juraj Blanár highlighted Vietnam as Slovakia's third most important trade partner in Asia, with bilateral trade exceeding 4 billion euros last year. After meeting with Vietnamese Ambassador Pham Truong Giang, Blanár announced plans to restart the Joint Economic Commission and strengthen Slovakia's economic presence in the Indo-Pacific region. He also called for expanding visa-free travel for Slovaks beyond Phu Quoc Island. The countries mark 75 years of diplomatic ties in 2024, and upcoming high-level visits are expected. Blanár praised the strong people-to-people connections and Vietnam's recognition of its 13,000-strong diaspora in Slovakia. Prime Minister Robert Fico has called for a meeting of Slovakia's Security Council to address rising hate speech, political aggression, and fears of a new attack on a public official. In a letter to political leaders and broadcasters, he also proposed moving Sunday political talk shows to weekdays to reduce societal tension, claiming such broadcasts contribute to hostility. While the Christian Democrats support media, other opposition parties rejected, citing concerns over media freedom. Fico stated that Smer would stop participating in Sunday debates if consensus is reached. This comes just days before 1-year anniversary of the assassination attempt on Fico in Handlova. The government will meet in the same town on the 15th of May to mark the date, with several public events planned by Smer SD. Fico was seriously injured in a 2024 shooting, and the attacker, Juraj C., faced terrorism charges with a trial set for July. Meanwhile, the investigation into the leak of Fico's medical records was suspended due to the lack of evidence. Association of Employers Unions has sent an open letter to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Energy Commissioner Dan Jorgensen, opposing the EU's proposed ban on Russian fuel imports. According to Association of Employers Unions, the plan lacks proper analysis, threatens the EU's energy security, and disproportionately harms landlocked countries like Slovakia. Association of Employers Unions argues that Russian fuel remains a vital supply alternative, and banning it could increase dependency on other sources. The association warns the proposal could raise energy costs, distort competition, and weaken Central Europe's industrial competitiveness. It calls for energy policy decisions to be made unanimously by member states and based on detailed economic and technical impact assessments. Consumer prices in Slovakia rose slightly in April, with annual inflation slowing to its lowest level this year. According to the Statistics Office, prices went up modestly compared to March and were higher than a year ago in nearly all categories of goods and services. The most noticeable price increases were in food, housing, and services. Households paid more for restaurant meals, haircuts, and rent. Food prices rose especially for items like oil, dairy, and fruit. Meanwhile, transportation costs fell slightly, helped by cheaper fuel and cars. The statistics also showed that while most areas saw a mild monthly rise in prices, some, like alcohol, tobacco, and home furnishings, actually became a bit cheaper. Despite the easing of inflation, Slovaks are still feeling the pressure of higher everyday expenses. Slovaks remain among the most travel-keen nations in Europe, with nearly 3/4 planning multiple trips abroad this year. According to Kiwi.com, despite economic pressures, more people are now searching for budget-friendly options and using apps to compare flight prices. Top summer destinations include traditional spots like Italy and Spain, but countries like Croatia, Bulgaria, Malta, and Cyprus are gaining popularity. Nearly half of Slovaks prefer booking flights well in advance, and flexibility with Shortwave helps out with costs. The survey covered travelers aged 18 to 37 in Slovakia and 5 other countries.
The news was compiled from Slovak media. To read the latest news daily, visit our website at rsi.stvr.sk. Welcome to Slovakia Today, a daily program from public broadcaster STVR. I'm your host, Jeremy Hill, along with sound engineer Romana Shundalikova. On today's show, as